Hello, welcome to another Biker's Travelog. So today in deepest, darkest Oxfordshire, I just thought I'd come and show you a little cool little route through the hills, and then we're going to end up at a place called White Mark on Watlington Hill, just to the east of Oxford. Great place to come and visit, not just because of what you see, but the story behind it, which is really kind of interesting and a bit odd. These whole hills are the Chiltern Hills, and routing up towards Buckinghamshire and through Oxfordshire. There's lots of white marks on the hills. You know, the hills cut away to the chalk line as well. So either going all the way towards Swindon, Uffington, the White Horse, Dunstable Downs. There's another big white mark, and a few little white marks along the way. So the big ones are probably carved out during the Iron Age or something like that. But these are a lot more recent, so let's go and check it out. Right, so welcome to a bit of a wet morning in Oxfordshire here in the UK. We're going to be heading up towards a place called Russell's Water and then Russell's Common, and then we're going to be going over the hills through the back lanes and then heading out towards Watlington. Okay, so this is I'll put a map up on the video as well for you to go and have a look at. So literally it's a great day out. So you've got Oxford nearby, so you can go and hang out in Oxford for the day, and then, you know, pop over here for an evening picnic or something like that. There is a campsite nearby as well. I think it's called White Hill Farm Campsite or something. So there are places to stay nearby, and little B&Bs as well, I'm sure. But anyway, so we'll go to where this white triangular mark is, and it's an elongated triangular mark, and it kind of looks like a bit of a witch's hat. But when we get there, I'll give you the story behind it. So anyway, onto this little track first of all. And I found this a few years ago, actually, whilst I was doing something else up here for my work, actually, and from the day job, and I thought, what a great place to come and have a little ride. So you can see on the track itself, I'm taking it easy because we are through the trees, but there's always a lot of debris on this road. You know, whether it's winter, spring, summer, autumn, you know, it's always debris, stones or whatever. So I always do take it really easy. Let's say the rainstorm, the storm has just passed. But there's a little bit of rain in the air, so if that gets on the lens, you know, I hope it doesn't destroy the viewing too much or ruin the viewing too much. Anyway, so up we go. Now, so we're right onto the top of the hill now, and this is what they call Russell's Water. This is Russell's Water and the Common area. Just big, flat, open expanse of land, left and right. So you can come and walk your dog, you can do all sorts really on here. And in the summer they let the grass grow, but in the winter it's all cut back a little bit, so actually you can get a much better view across the hills. And you can actually see through the bend a lot better as well when you're riding. But anyway, we're gonna come through here and just keep on going. So I'll keep on chattering away, and anything I can spot along the way I'll kind of point out. Also, just up here on the right hand side now, and this is probably for another day perhaps, but there is a hidden tumulus, and a tumulus is, for those of you who don't know, in the UK, I'm sure they're dotted about all over Europe as well, but they're basically mounds of earth, and they're burial mounds. So in the Iron Age and before that, I assume, you know, the people would these are like the cemeteries, you know, they would actually bury people there. So these are not to be confused with mottes. So mottes are other mounds of earth, but a mott is what you would build like a a building on, or a castle or something like that. So they kind of look very similar, but one is where a building stood upon, like a fortified building, and the other one is where it's a burial mound. So and then they're dotted all over the country, but you know, if you don't know what you're looking at, you wouldn't know what they are. And also a lot of these are hidden in trees, or hidden behind tree lines as well, so you wouldn't even know what they are either. So singular tumulus, or plural tumuli. There we go, there's a bit of English for you. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Right, let's keep on heading up here. Hopefully not take out any cyclists along the way. You do have to be careful on these little side roads, I must say. And I always try and, my advice, you know, I've done all sorts of riding, advanced riding and everything like that, and it's blah 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 blah. But the best advice I can give is actually, especially on these country roads, is never go too wide, either left or right, because there'll either be debris on the verge of the road, the side of the road, which could easily make you lose control, or going right in the middle of the lane, especially on a bend. You could, especially on these narrow roads, you could easily find a vehicle coming a bit too fast the other way, and you won't have time to get out of the way. So just slow it right down, probably stay in the middle of the lane somewhat. Yeah, try and get a little bit of better view, but you don't really need. And this whole, you know, I always have a big problem with, you know, anyone who says, well, you know, try and attack the road and or make progress. Well, what does that mean? You know, just make your own progress. Just go nice and gentle. Right, anyway, so keep on going through here. So it's a lovely, I mean, this is a lovely little track. Yeah, I mean, it's a road really, but it's a, you know, a back road. And these kind of things, these are kind of roads I love to ride on. Anyway. Right, so we're going to join the main road literally for about 10 seconds. And so we're heading towards Watlington there, that's on the signpost, you can see. And then we're going to be turning off pretty much instantly in the next sort of 10-15 seconds. And we're going to be going along, heading up towards an area called Christmas Common. It's quite a well-known area in this area. There's a big stately home in this area called Stoner Park as well. They have big events there as well. It's cut into the hillside, so it's, you know, very nice as well. Right, so here we go. And as you can imagine, right on top of the hills are Chiltern Hills here, so lots of bridleways, lots of footpaths, lots of cycleways as well, you know, to come enjoy the views. Get away from this chap. Now this is not the route I would normally take to go and see this white mark, but you know, this is just a bit more of a scenic route here. It keeps us off the main road just for a little bit longer, and hopefully from where we are we can get a good view of the white mark. If not, I'll quickly scoot round to the other side of it, and then I'll show you. Obviously I might have to edit out the video a little bit for you, so just bear in mind that's what I've done. So I'm not sure if you can see there, but there's a wall on the left-hand side, and that denotes there is a big estate on the left-hand side called Watlington Park. So I think there are footpaths through there. You have to check an ordnance survey map, so I think you can walk through it at some point. I'm not 100% sure on that. So this is what I mean by not taking it too wide on the left-hand turn. You know, you still go slow enough to get a good view anyway, but you know, just protect yourself from the other side, you know. So here we are. This is an area called Christmas Common. I've ridden through here lots of times actually. It's really nice, and it's not just through here, but there are lots of other tracks and trails to go exploring as well, whether on foot, on bicycles, or you know, on your motorbike as well. Right, so pretty much just adjacent to this Watlington Hill now. This is where we are. We're going to be heading out. So this white mark is actually just to the left of us here, and this is the campsite here. This is where you can come and this thing. You see, it's massive. Look, there's actually lots and lots of people here because it sits right on top of the hill. It's a lovely place, you know, to come and view. And anytime, dare I say it, anytime there's like a white mark on a hill, you can guarantee that a certain type of person at a certain type of year will congregate around it. That's all I'm saying. Make up your own minds what I mean there. Anyway, so we're coming down Watlington Hill now. So the white mark is actually on the left-hand side. Now you can go and walk along this, you know, and it's a National Trust or National Heritage site as well. But obviously, sometimes when you're actually on it, you can't actually see it very well. So we're going to try and get a vantage point just down the hill. We'll be looking up. So now we're coming down the hill. So basically, we've gone up the hill, over the top, and then down the other side of it now. So these trees that you can see on the left-hand side, the white mark is on the other side of that. Right, so what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to have to try and get to the other side of it. So, I'll leave this with you now, and then I'll catch you on the other side. Unless I can find a trail. Let's have a look. I'm not sure. Okay. Right, so basically, let me just pull in here, pull off the road a little bit, might be a little bit more sensible. Okay, so welcome back. Okay, so pulled off the side of the road. So basically, if you look right in that direction over there, you can see maybe just a faint chalk line cut away into the hillside. So the interesting thing, and I'll put the photos up now, aerial photos, so you can see it better, but there is actually a cut through. We can walk away and you can walk along it as well, so I won't do that today, but just to give you a rough idea. So I think it was in 1764, a guy called Edward Home lived down in the village. He was a squire, and he was a bit hacked off that his church didn't have a spire, so he thought, right, from my house I want to look over the church to the hillside, and I'm going to make my own spire. So that's what he did. He got his serfs to go up the hill, cut away all the grass and the mud and the dirt away from the chalk from the hillside, exposed this triangle, this elongated triangle, and he made his own church spire. How daft is that? How random is that? Anyway, so that's basically the story behind it. So it's you know, the roads around here are really great to come and ride. Come and check it out. Oxfordshire, to the east of Oxford,
spend the day in Oxford, come out here. You can see there's a campsite up there, and you know there is, you know, just this odd marking cut away into the hillside. We've had a bit of rain this morning, so that sort of dulled the chalk outline as well, unfortunately. And that, from that vantage point, where this vantage point isn't that great, and most of it is obscured by the tree, so you really need to be far away to get a good view of it. But anyway, so that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this biker's travelogue. There are lots of these sort of chalk markings around the country. If you're coming from this country, go and explore and go and see what they're all about. But you know, but for me, it's not the actual marking that's interesting; it's the story behind it. So this guy here, he got fed up that there wasn't a pointy bit on a church, so he made his own. You know, but if you're coming from abroad, go check them out. Check out National Heritage sites, National Trust websites, and they've got all the information about these things and dotted all over the country. Get yourself a hire car or a bike, go explore. Okay, cheers.
Right, onwards and upwards. Yeah, pretty much these guys are going to turn left, aren't they? Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're just going to head on out, and I just want to show you another little route here. Basically going to go up on top of the hill again, and I say I'll put to aerial photos of the site itself, so you get a good view of what I'm talking about. But I just find the stories behind these markings or places of interest more interesting than the actual view of the place itself, if you know what I mean. And you know, all over the UK, I suppose all over Europe as well. But you know, any country that's got a long history, you know, will have these odd stories, you know, about them. And I'm not talking about historical stories, you know, like the Romans or the Iron Age or Stone Age or anything like that. What I'm talking about, you know, something about relative history or recent history, you know, when we're talking the last 300 or 400 years. And you think, well, actually, man has used machines and labour to make something. And a lot of these times, these things are just follies, you know, they're just absurd things that serve no purpose, just for self-gratification, you know. On this particular witch's hat, if you like, this triangular shape into the countryside, you know, many people would believe that it's some kind of phallic symbol, that it was just the ultimate piss take by this squire, this Edward Home, in the 1760s, but nobody really realised at the time. But he was a bit of a lad, you know. And but who knows? I mean, you know, I suppose what is important is that it doesn't really matter, you know, what the actual real reason was. But they're just good stories, aren't they? You know, just good stories to have a bit of fun at. Okay, so. So this is the track I wanted to show you here. It's coming off the hill and onto another site as well. And again, it's just It's not a Roman road or anything like that, but it's just funny how it comes off the hill, and especially usually country roads are, you know, they're either long sweeping bends or very tight little corners and or bends. Whereas this one is just a bit of an odd one, really. They thought, right, we're just going to come off the hill and we're just going to go straight down to the village. So I do like it. I do like this one. Okay, so coming up to the top of it now, you can see it sort of straightening out a little bit. Still a nice little track. You can see it coming away from the tree line now and open into the open countryside. See, it is a bit grey out there. Sorry if there's a bit of water on the lens. You know, sometimes if you want to go and see these interesting places, unfortunately they are totally inaccessible by motorbike. So the only way to get there is to walk. So here we go, coming off the hill now. And look, it's a completely dead straight road coming off the hill straight down. And it goes all the way down to the tree line to the village, and there's a little kink in there, I suppose. But I just find this really odd, you know, right in the off the hillside straight down. I'm not complaining, I love it. Probably see now there's a bit of debris in the middle of the road, sort of stones or whatever. Just avoid that, especially on a turn, on a bend. You probably won't be able to see it on the video, but there's a red kite just above us, circling away, looking for its next prey. This area is well known for lots of red kites, lots and lots of them dotted about all over the place, and sometimes when they swoop down right in front of you, you know, your heart is in your mouth a little bit because you think, oh my god. And they are quite big when they get close to you. Right, anyway, time to end this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I say it's only a little thing. For, you know, I will put aerial photos on there so you can see, and you know, you can access this white mark on Watlington Hill by foot as well as and you can actually walk around it. So you know, when I very first saw it, I thought it was a launch pad for some, you know, hang glider launch pad or something, but anyway, so but it's obviously it's not. Right, so hope you enjoy it, and catch you on the next one. Cheers.